Welcome to Arsenal Above All. Another show, another game, another win for the Arsenal, maintaining their unbeaten run as we head into another international break. And there's another one next month, which is just insane. I've got Mac with me for the first time this season, making his first start. I'm sure it's going to be a lot better performance than we saw on the pitch from a certain Brazilian number 9, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it, Mac.
Pleasure.
We'll get into the win and just some of the standout performances. And I think we know who we're going to be talking about and lots more. But before all of that, of course, let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Mac. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm all right. It's good to be here. Listen, it's a pleasure always to be here. I know I can only come on once in a while, but it's the times I'm here. It's always a pleasure and a privilege. Thank you.
Good stuff, man. I really appreciate it. What we'll do, we'll get into it. A win today against really struggling Southampton side. We won 3-1, and it was another last-minute kind of business where we made everyone go through it again, as we had done against Leicester City. Obviously, a little bit more routine in midweek against PSG. Again, second half maybe, down in tools a little bit. Let's get into it, Mac. This the lineup. Obviously, this is what a lot of people were talking about and thinking, what's he going to do? Are we going to see Ethan Nwaneri, which is probably the only disappointing thing of the whole afternoon, really, as well as one or two performances, which we'll get into. But what was your thoughts on just the lineup and how he went into that, making those changes? And what do you think Arteta will be thinking about over this 2-week break? Obviously, it will be hoping that he has a bit of a more luckier one with all the injuries that we picked up last time. But what's your thoughts on what certain individuals have done in terms of their bargaining chip, to say, "Oh, I want to play." What do you think he's going to be thinking about?
Well, let's start from the top. Let's start from as far as the manager, right? So I think the manager, and we all love Arteta. He's been through it. We've been through the years when it was lean, and he's picked us up and he's brought us to be title contenders, and that's fine. But he's still a young manager, and he's making these young manager mistakes. Okay, because I saw the Pep game, and even though they got through as well, he's not making the same mistakes. He's gone into this game. We're at home, feel good factor. We haven't lost a game this season, and he's shown a little bit of disrespect, I think, personally, in my opinion, to Southampton, because he's walked in. He thought, right, we've got a game before the break. But a lot of hard games. We had a really, straightforward game, as you say. It was tough, though, against PSG. And we've walked in this game and you think, right, there's some people on the bench who never get a game, experienced players. Let's give them a start. Let's give them a chance to get their feet on the ground. Obviously, there's been some injuries away, so some things were enforced. So I think that's what came in with the Jorginho over Ethan and Nwaneri choice. I think the whole movement of certain people, even Sterling starting, I'm not convinced by him still, but we'll get into that. And Jesus, Jesus is not scoring goals. He still hasn't scored a goal since January, and yet Leo is banging them in for fun. So I think he showed a little bit of disrespect, and he brought in people that he thought, right, show me what you can do. But it's not a game about show me what you can do. It's about doing things right. And we talked about it a bit before this, that first half, you play your first team. You play your first team, the people who will deliver results. You play them in the right position. And then the second half, you bring in these guys, who, let's be honest, are on the periphery on the team. The guys who we only bring on and sometimes don't even get a game. Jorginho is only just starting getting games because of obviously the captain, fantastic Martin Odegaard being away. Martin Odegaard was fit. How many games? We could count one hand. Hand. How many games Jorginho get? But he keeps on getting these games because of the situation with Odegaard. So I think it was cynical. I think it was a bit disrespectful. I think it was a young manager decision to do this as opposed to taking care of business.
Yeah. He's kind of done that before, though, hasn't he? He did that, I think, the last time he played Southampton and we dropped points. Obviously, we remember what happened there when we drew 3-3. And I do agree with you. I mean, because you look at Jesus, for example. Played against Bolton, was it? And he didn't look like scoring in that game. He just seems to be totally on a different wavelength to everybody else. And I think basically today it's proved that this guy, you can't rely on this guy to be that false nine or do that job that Havertz does for us, and Trossard for that example, because I just think the level has gone up. When he arrived, it was exciting. We thought we were going to turn him into this number 9 that's going to score 20 goals a season and maybe push us on a little bit, and he did that season. But I think since Havertz has come in, and Trossard, especially when he plays in that sort of more central role, they bring a different kind of team ethic, but they bring a different sort of mentality to the team, and they're a lot more clinical in certain aspects. Especially, obviously we know Trossard, Havertz, scoring it's 7th consecutive game at the Emirates Stadium, match Van Persie's record as well. I think now Jesus can only be considered as a replacement to play on the wing if need be, to come on, for legs, because I don't think we rely on this guy anymore to start. And I think Sterling played well in the first half. He was probably the only one that was really sort of a little bit electric. He was trying to, he took his man on a couple of times, took his fullback on a couple of times, got involved. But I think today's game has definitely shown that a couple of the guys, behind, if they need to up their game. If not, I think maybe Jesus needs to be looking at maybe going elsewhere, whether it's summer or January. What do you think?
Well, I got a couple of things. So Jesus and Zinny, obviously Zinchenko is constantly injured. Both of them were good for that first rebuilding season, right? They were good. They were excellent. They were what we needed in the dressing room and on the pitch. However, since then, both of them have fallen off the cliff. Obviously, as you said, our standards have gone up, but theirs hasn't for some weird reason, which is really weird because they were at Man City. They should have been continuing to up their game. And I appreciate Man City, both were bit part players. But reality is that they've literally gone full circle. They've been a bit part for us as well. Yeah. I don't think that knowing the way that, let's be honest, Arteta is, he's got that bit of loyalty with them. He's ruthless, but not that ruthless. He's not going to get rid of Jesus or Zinny until the summer. And he's going to wait for them to knock on his door and say, look, I want to move. And that's going to come from Zinny probably, but I don't think it's going to come from Jesus. Jesus is like one of those players who will be quite nice and compliant, nice to dress room. I think he's going to stay for longer. I would love him to go as a fan in January and go play his football elsewhere. But I don't think that he's going to be let go, because in those certain games, he's as a winger, he can, thread through lots of people. And also, you got to remember the amount of games we've got to still go. Okay, we're in 4 competitions, and one of them is at the very highest level, obviously Champions League. So, and obviously the Premier League as well. So, I think both of them. I don't see any of them going before January, and I think that Jesus, don't be surprised if he gets a new contract, an extra year or so.
I mean, that's going to be interesting because obviously, yes, we've got lots of games to come. Especially when we come back from the international break. I think we've got like the games that we've got Liverpool, we've got Newcastle, Inter, and Chelsea.
You're rubbish. Let's be honest. I'm being brutal. Newcastle are rubbish. Can't even score a penalty.
every game, the most recent games against them, especially up there, have been really tough. And they drew today and against Everton, but we know what it's like when they're up there. It's a scalp, isn't it? So they're going to try and do what they can. But you're right. I mean, in an ideal world, yes, I think for me, if Jesus, he's kind of showing that he's not playing for the team. He seems a little bit off, out of kilter with what's happening. I think if an offer comes in, I think, you let him go. But obviously, you have to see what's the opportunities there to come in. I think there's been rumours about Jonathan David, possibly coming in on the free, but that's at the end of the season, so it wouldn't be helpful now. But yeah, I was disappointed with Jesus today. I just thought he was just so off it, and he's just overcomplicating. He's being indecisive in that last third. I think it kills us, man, because
100%.
you've got Sterling that's like that as well. To be honest, he's very indecisive in certain actions. It's like, is he going to shoot? Sometimes when he shoots, he takes an extra touch. He's not just saying it for us. We've seen it at Chelsea. We've seen it at Man City. In England, it's been like that. And
like I said, I'm not convinced by him. I'm not even convinced.
When you've got two of them like that, in that that's a bit. That's why it kind of broke down. It didn't work really until the subs were made. And then we went a goal down. Obviously, we were really again. I don't know what it is with us at home where we just seem to just let in these really soft goals, man. I thought the defending from Saliba, I mean, we give him his flowers and stuff, but I thought the defending for that goal was really bad for him. I don't know what he was doing. He gave the guy way too much space to come in and hit that shot. It was really bad defending. Obviously, Sterling gets knocked off the ball. It was really weak. And I just wish we just went through a run of games where we just didn't concede goals at home. We did that away last season, but this season, and last season especially, we just kept on, giving away silly goals. Even though we won games, we just kept on giving away silly, like one goal here and stuff. And it doesn't have that sort of, that aura of, okay, you're not going to score against us today, sort of thing. So I was disappointed with that. But just touching on James. James is watching. Hello, James, and hello, Neil. So I messaged before. He's just saying Jesus had 20 touches, lost the ball 4 times of that 20, less than 70% on his pass, and 3 shots. 2 off target and 1 block. The injuries he's had, whatever it is, he's lost out there at the moment. He just, for me, it's kind of like, ESR. We know when ESR kept on getting injured, and then when he came back in, and the levels kept on going up and up and up. And I think that's maybe the same thing that's happened to Jesus. The level, when he was, the first one on the team sheet to certain aspects, he was there at the level, but now the level's gone up and he's just not at it anymore. So I just think the same thing's going to happen to him with what happened to ESR and Vieira. He's just not at the level. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to just sort of cut your cloth. But things didn't really change until we put Martinelli on and we put Havertz. Obviously, started to work more centrally. And it was. What was your thoughts just on that and how that?
We have a winning formula. We have a winning formula. Okay, so it's the old saying, isn't it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It works with the way that we've been playing everybody in their right positions, and all this messing around. As I said at the top of the show, all this mess around is purely, as we've said before, to placate the older members of the team. The people who are not doing anymore. Jesus, we 100% he needs to go. He's good on the wing. That's it. That's all he can play. He's good for assists, but that's it. And I've said, like I said at the top of the show, Sterling's no good. I think we probably keep him, but I think he should go back at the end of the loan spot. But that's me. Havertz is proven, and we've got to give him his flowers, right? How much did we criticize him at the start of the 100%. Season? Who is 100%. This guy? Why are we paying 65 million for this guy? And all the rest of it. And we were just as bad as everybody else. And this guy is a crock. And he's shut our mouths. Yeah. He shut everybody's mouths from inside and outside. And now we've obviously got the chant. I mean, the guy is we talked about, obviously everyone knows about 7 games consistently. Imagine that, 7 games, 7 goals. I mean,
it's mental.
What a man. And Van Persie, who was obviously before he went to United, obviously an Arsenal legend. I mean, this guy is doing, and his goal out of all the 3 goals was the most cleanest.
Yeah.
We took it, smacked, bang, clean shot. No kind of bouncing around and nice lucky touch. Just clean shot.
Yeah, he reminded me of a Van Persie goal, to be fair. He did remind me of a Van Persie goal. Yeah,
I think he can. I think he's going to score 20+ goals for us this season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not obviously going to be as prolific as our favourite, the king, obviously Henri, but he is definitely in the 20 goal space. He's big, he's strong, he's as tall as me, 6'4", big, strong. You know, it's just not, you know, he's a great guy. Great guy.
Yeah, I'll be the first person to hold my hands up, and I have countless times, and said, I don't know what we spent, why we spent this money on this guy. It just doesn't work. And then obviously in January we put him as that, you know, that number 9. Everything's clicked into place, and this guy, you know, he took it personally when we went 1-0 down. He took it personally, man. He literally grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. He was doing some mad stuff. He was doing, you know, keeping the ball on the pitch and then keeping it in play and running people, you know, chasing people down. Amazing goal, great finish, like you said. Saka as well, you know, and you go back to last game of the season when we beat Everton, we lost the league on the last day of the season, and how upset he was that we didn't win the league. And I think there's been quotes over the summer, him talking about how desperate he is to win, you know, a big trophy with Arsenal, whether it's a league or the Champions League. And this guy's proper, you know, falling head over heels for the club, because he's loved at the club. Obviously, we know Arteta loves him, and everybody loves him now, obviously with his song and stuff. But you know, he put an Instagram caption on, and he tagged home as you know, at the Emirates. So this guy is proper. You know, he turned into a warrior. You know, we've got one in the background there, as you can see in that shot, which is Gabriel. And then you've got him there as well. But his performance from when we went 1-0 down was absolutely tremendous. And he's definitely got the bit between his teeth. Got Neil here saying everyone in the stands was dissatisfied with Jesus. You know, Neil was there today, and I mean,
my guy was there as well, and he said he was screaming at Jesus for that first goal because he was obviously he was playing the guy on or something. So I think Jesus, a lot of people are dissatisfied with him, but like I said, how many games are you realistically going to start with? He's not going to start majority of the games. It was just one of those games, the Southampton game, where Southampton have been poor all season, even though they've got a great manager, great young manager. And I think he just thought it was a low-hanging fruit, easy hit. And it obviously wasn't, because they're desperate for points. The teams which are down the bottom are always the most dangerous. And that's why people like Jesus get a game. But I think realistically, if he really thought about it, should have played first half with the first team, second half, getting Ethan in first, as opposed to Ethan not even getting a game. This guy must be getting so annoyed with it all. And then bring all the other people who brought Martin, all the rest of it. But that's how it should have been. These people who are first team. Leo should have started. Why are you not playing this guy? You know, you obviously got Martinelli up there. Look, Martinelli's goal was good. Obviously Mikel Mourinho nearly touched it. We were so lucky he didn't. Otherwise, it would have been offside. Just missed it. And obviously, it was deemed that he didn't interfere with play anyway. And Marte was just a touch on. But I mean, the goal itself, whilst it was a very tight corner, obviously, you know, it's I wouldn't say it's a touch of luck. It's skillful, but it's, you know, it's a kind of Martinelli goal, really.
It was
pace and power and going right in the corner, which is a very difficult angle for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was a great cross from Saka again. I think there's a shot of Declan Rice looking at Saka, like to say, can't believe he played that ball.
Yeah,
so that was, and again he took it personally as well. You know, captain as well, and you know, his numbers have been tremendous so far this season. I thought again, first half he was a little bit. He was lucky to carry on. I think there was a tackle that Kyle Walker-Peters put on him in the first half, which was a shocking tackle. He hit him right on the top of the shin again. A little bit like the one the Bournemouth guy, Ryan Christie, did last season. It was almost the same. It's like right on the top of the shin. If his foot was planted, he'd be done. His season would be done.
100%.
I can't believe the referee, I think he gave him a yellow card, but that was so bad, you know, and you know, and you could see Peters is trying to shake his hand, trying to pick him up, and you know, and that's what they do. They wipe him out, and then they try and shake his hand and say, "Oh, you know, we're friends," sort of thing. And I just wish sometimes he would just bat him away quite aggressively, just let the referee know, look, that was a bad one. But it's like he's kind of, he's kicked me again, and I'm just taking it, sort of thing. But But
I
yeah,
think he's realised that he's a target man, though. I think last year and the year before, since we've been actually pretty good, he has been targeted, and even he talked about in the summer, but he bulked up a bit just to get more strong. And even the way he's been this season, a little bit more like a bit more of an edge to him as opposed to a little kid kind of mindset, because people are cynical, and I'm telling you now, right, that whatever's happened in the dressing room, people are either whether it's conscious or unconscious are targeting Saka and just trying to put him up because he is one of the main. Him and Martin Odegaard are main guys, right? But if you take them out, everyone gets taken off. But the starting guys always, apart from the goalkeeper, obviously, is going to be Saka and Martin Odegaard. Obviously, Odegaard's injured, so he's always going to be the man to create something, especially with Martin out of the injured. So yeah, that's a great pick.
Yeah, I think the first half. I think the first half was the first time we've kind of missed Odegaard, and just him being a bit cute 100%. Around that, around those zones just before, where Saka was picking up the ball, and I know he was trying to do things. Jorginho, to be fair, played some lovely balls through to Havertz as well. But I think that was the first half of football, or especially that we seemed like we just missed, someone unlocking it. A team like that with a low block. Because Southampton were. They put 11 men behind the ball and everything, but that's what you got to do, right? You got to try and open your teams up. It's not going to be open. To be fair to Southampton, in the second half, they did come out and try and play a bit, and they had a couple of opportunities. I think they hit the bar as well. I think we were rattled a little bit defensively, especially Raya as well. It's the first time I've seen him flap at stuff.
Oh no!
And I don't know if. I don't know if the games, just the magnitude of the game on midweek on Tuesday caught up with him. I don't know.
I think they're all tired. I think they're all tired. I think they're all tired. That's why, again, partly why these guys were played. I think, like I said, he flapped. Obviously, one bounce off his hand, and the cross top bar. Thank God it didn't go in. I mean, obviously, when the first goal went in, you should have seen him. I was like this. Couldn't believe it. I was screaming. Anyway, but I think on another day, that first goal, actually, of the one goal they scored, he would have saved on another day. But obviously, again, it's the angle. Saliba could have done better, obviously. But I think that angle, he can get those. But I think, like I said, they're all pretty tired. I think also as well that Jorginho plays some nice balls and even had a nice shot. But you talked about Odegaard. Odegaard draws the people to him and then releases it in such a way that it's so pinpoint that it's perfect to one of our players. So he draws people. That's what is between him and someone like Sterling or any of these guys who are trying to take the mantle. I mean, I think Ethan Nwaneri could do as well, where you draw the people to you and you pinpoint the pass, and then they're left bamboozled. They don't even know where the ball's gone. And that's what he's always was quick at, the quick passes, precise passes with people coming towards him and people not knowing which direction he's going to go in. And, we missed him. We massively missed Martin Odegaard. And hopefully he's fit. Hopefully over the international break, but maybe a week after. I don't know. Who's our first game after the international break? I don't even know.
It's Bournemouth away. Away.
That's not too bad. They've done
so we hope that we can get him back. Got Bournemouth, and then we've got Shakhtar
away. Shakhtar, that's a tough game.
Yeah, they've struggled so far. Their first two games in the league, but again it's a scalp, isn't it? And then Liverpool is going to be the first test. For them, really.
It's going to be a good test. I'm looking forward to it
because everyone's sort of saying they haven't really played anybody, and they beat us pre-season, so I think there might have been a few seeds of what to do against the Slots kind of team for Arteta to digest a bit. And obviously they've only let in 2 goals so far this season, so that's they've had a good start. But again, people can say what they said that about us, didn't they? When at the start of the season, I think
they've lost their goalkeeper today, though.
We haven't played. Yeah. They were saying a couple of years ago when we went to the top of the league, we haven't played anybody yet, and and stuff like that. And then we played United and beat them, I think, and then we went from there. But yeah, so obviously, the guy on the screen, our young academy graduate, Bukayo Saka, captain again today. What more can you say about this guy? Because I was kind of saying before about sometimes I get a bit what's the word? Too not too strict, not too strict, but too stern with him sometimes, thinking that he should be doing more, and because you want him to do more, because you love him, you want him, he's representing the club, he's such a fantastic human as well as a player. And there's always this chat about who he's better than and who's better than him and Palmer and this and that. And when you look at his numbers, man, it's just insane. He's 23 and he's doing what he's doing. Again, what do you think of his performance today, and just where his standing is now in terms of production and stuff, what he does, what he brings to the team? Because he very rarely gives the ball away. He's kind of the polar opposite of someone like Martinelli, isn't he? Where
of course
Martinelli will be a bit more full throttle, but Saka very, very rarely gives it away, and keeps always makes the right decisions. But what was your thoughts on his performance today?
Well, I think we need to first the elephant in the room, right? About him being world class. He is world class. I don't care what anybody says, right? The facts are the facts, and he is got more assists than anybody, even that Lamine Yamal or whatever his name is, and all the rest of them in the leagues around Europe. So he's world class. Okay, that's the first thing. The stats, the facts don't lie. He has got more now assists, or he's on the same level of assists as Robert Perez, our legend, our legend, a guy in Invincible. He's got that amount, and he's not even starting his career. This guy, he's only a few years in. He's got the same amount of assists as him. Okay, obviously he missed out, unfortunately, on the Leicester one on getting on getting that assist, because obviously it bounced off Leo into the other guy for an own goal, but. He literally virtually every single game he gets an assist, and obviously got a goal today. So his goal involvement is incredible. We are seeing the evolution of someone who's come from the academy to become a world-class player who loves his club. And it's magical to watch. And like you said, at times we've been cynical about is he really world-class or not? Or we've been kind of a bit, as you said, a bit down on him. But he's proved us all wrong, and he does his talking on the pitch. He does everything he needs to do. Yes, end of last season and partly the first part of the season last season, he was struggling. He was, and I'm sure if we knew him, quietly with his mate, he would say the same thing. I don't think he's someone who wouldn't admit to struggling. He did. He would get the ball. We became a bit predictable at times where he'd get the ball and he'd lose it. But, he's changed it around, turned it around, done whatever work he's done physically and mentally, and he's having a great start to the season. I think today, specifically as you've asked, it was fabulous. I mean, he's doing the job which we need him to do, really, at the end of the day. I know that, he gets all the plaudits, but we needed him to be that guy today, because I think we lost our way a bit, especially in that first half. We kind of, as you said, we didn't get any end product. And, Sterling, for all his speed and pace, unfortunately, I've said it already, and I know I'm being down on the guy, but it reminds me a lot of Walcott when he would move positions, okay? Walcott was effective on the winger, but, he wasn't as a striker. Well, this guy, Sterling, is not being effective. He's making the runs, but there's no end products. And, they had a goal on target before us. I mean, I'm looking at the stats. In the end, we obviously got loads of what do you call it?
We had
I think it's good.
There weren't that many on target. Again, a bit like the week before where we had 36, I think, attempts in total.
So 29 shots, and only 6 were on target. They had 8 shots and had 2 on target. So they had a third of what we got, but we had literally 4 times more shots.
We were just so sort of blunt in the first half. It was just, again, I think the week before it was down to the goalkeeper where we weren't doing anything. But this time it was just bad decision making and stuff, and over complicating things in that first half. But I mean, and again, obviously Saka as well. He was getting Mark doubled up, a lot, which even more so. But I just thought the speed that we were moving the ball was nowhere near quick enough and that sort of fell into the trap. Was exactly what Southampton wanted to do. Just got a couple of chats up here. We've got from James. I said when the Havertz is up there, he's running. His ability can drag one or two defenders with him. As they panic about what he can do. No defender is worried about Jesus right now. And I think, to be fair, it was just right with James that said, because in the second half, when Havertz went up there, all of a sudden Saka started to get spaced and to do what he was doing, because they were worrying about him. Walker Peters and the guy who was helping him out, all of a sudden had another thing to deal with. So yeah, that's very true. And I got here, but Arteta should stop overchanging players, otherwise he will get a club down, which is why Rangers defence Arsenal will end up losing points. Yeah,
agreed.
Came close to that last week and this week.
Yeah.
And what else we got? Got a message from Anthony, who does the editing for Purely Arsenal podcast. Thanks, Anthony. He's probably not here now to hear that, but he just said wanted to throw a like our way. Thank you.
That's nice.
Got James. James has said when Odegaard went down, remember how much we all panicked. Saka now has become the top creative player in Europe. Starboy has become Starman. David Bowie saying.
And this is why they double up on Saka. Southampton, I'm telling you now, the manager, Saka is not. Yeah, no, I'm telling you now, that manager told his team, listen, if Saka has the ball, do everything you can to take it off him. Double up. He said, do you double up on him, right? Just break down his play. Do everything you can, because they know without Martin Odegaard, he's the key man. He is the key man. Without, he is the only person on the team, especially on that starting lineup, who's really going to create anything like with an end product. Sterling, they know, nice with the runs, but he's not going to create anything at the end product. That's why we've seen it several times. But Saka is the main man, and obviously, like I said, he's captain again. But they can only, once we've got Odegaard back, that kind of makes it a bit easier for both of them. What's this? What's this guy saying?
So James said Saka just this week broke Ozil's GA numbers with his goal against PSG and equal Perez's assist today. Absolutely mental numbers. Yeah, he's like he's 23.
Yeah, as we talked about. And he's only just starting.
He's a follower of the channel, Aldrin. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Listen, any concerns though about any of the players?
Yes,
for me, Minero, he's rusty. You can see he's getting up to speed with it. Some people say he looks a bit slow. I just think he's just working his way in. I think the international break will be good for him. Again, he'll be working on the system and what have you and everything. But obviously he was on the pitch when the turnaround proper really happened, didn't it? Wasn't it? And stuff.
Absolutely.
Anything that you think you need to worry about? I'm kind of concerned about, maybe again it's too early and I don't want to hammer him, but Calafiori defensively worries me a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think he's my biggest concern because he's a big guy. And yet people are running past him. I don't get it. If you are such a, we've all had all this kind of, hype about him, let's say, and he's not letting people run past him. He's not taking them down the channels. Basic stuff that we would expect. Now I appreciate that, he's just getting used to the system and the way we play, but he's supposed to be. Timber, fair enough, he's been away for a year and he's getting injured, niggles here and there. But Timber's half his size. And when someone runs at him on that left hand side or right hand side, wherever, and he's on the left back, he always takes them down the channel. I am more confident with Timber than Calafiori.
Yeah.
Because Timber is nasty. He takes them down the channels. He doesn't let them go on his inside and take him on. Calafiori is double the size of this guy. He's about my size, well over 6 foot, and yet people are running past him. He's not putting the tackles in. He's not holding them up. I don't know if he's scared of something. The first game, he looked brilliant. And then the second, obviously, Man City game, he also scored a nice goal. But defensively, so going forward, he's good. But defending, I'm worried. Because I hope that Arteta's seen that as well. Gives him more time off to play the more smaller games. Timber back on the left when he's ready, and then obviously when Ben White's ready, back on the right, because I'm worried.
Yeah. Neil was there. He said he was impressed with what he saw with him today. And there were a couple of occasions where he did a couple of good tackles and he instigated moves. I just thought there were a couple of occasions where he was really caught out, and he shouldn't have been caught out.
Yeah,
there was one instance where the guy just ran past him. He just didn't even acknowledge he was there, and that was a worry because that kind of was like what happened with that Justin goal last week, where he just didn't even switch on to know that he was there. And I think he was doing a lot of inverted today. He was picking up the ball in the number 10 space at certain times today. So I know
I do think that's what Arteta wants, though. So I give him a little bit of a kind of a little bit of pass on that. But I do think if you're going forward, because obviously we know Arteta wants them to be just as good offensively as they are defensively. That's why Declan Rice, all these guys always talk about it, and that's why obviously he's been shown to be slow at the moment, Mikel Mourinho, because he's not used to that. He's used to being at the back, defensive midfielder, staying. He's not used to moving that literally like a central midfielder in effect, which is like everyone has to do. So he's got to get fit or rest of it. So I'll let Mourinho off. But I think Calafiore, I think that he needs more time. I think at the moment I'm worried, but I do think that we have to give him time, just like we've given other people time. So, but Timber for me has to be the starting left back, 100%. Once Rice is back, when Ben White's back, he has to. He has to, because the thing about him, takes him down challenge, nasty. Remember, I mean, he nearly got sent off the other day, didn't he? When he went over the ball. I mean, that nastiness is what is in our DNA at the moment. So I think he's the right man to start. Calafiore just needs a bit more time, just get used to the runs. He's got the pace. It just needs to know how we play and how the Premier League is. That's my personal thoughts on it.
Yeah, Neil obviously agrees. Tim
just another 100%.
He's unbelievable. His first half performance against PSG was outrageous, absolutely outrageous.
Brilliant. I do love him.
And I know that he's going back a bit, but we've had two injuries that I think have influenced the destination of the title. I think if we had Timber last season,
we would have won it.
We probably would have won the league, and if we had Saliba at the end of the season before, we probably would have won the league as well. So, it's kind of mad, but he was unbelievable midweek, and let's hope he's back, and Tim and White is back for the trip to Bournemouth. And James said positioning every game so far this season, Calafiore has been poor and has had a ricket moment. I just need to coach that out of him on the ball and going forward. He's brilliant to watch. So he is. He's not a chaos merchant, but he does spread a little bit of chaos amongst the opposition, because they're wondering, bloody hell, where's he come from? What is he doing? And there's a man over. What do I do? So going forward, he's tremendous. So if he kind of refines the defending side a little bit, and he's 22 still.
He's got time. I think we have to give him a year if we're realistic. He's not coming in like Timber, who is so experienced. He knows every trick in the trade. He's a young guy. He was obviously injured for a while, and we know he's got a bit of an injury kind of record anyway. So he just needs games. He just needs games. But there's other people as well. But I think for the most part, we know what they're like. We know what Jorginho brings to us, right? You hold the ball slow. I mean, he did all right, a few bits and pieces. But overall, and I've talked about Sterling at length already, overall, I think there's no other person that I was worried about, because we already know what they're like already. We don't know already what they bring to the table.
Yeah, what's your thoughts about? There's news about the contract extension possibly for Thomas Partey, and the fact that also Jorginho is looking like he's going to be offered a player coach contract. So whether he decides to retire at the end of the season and takes up coaching one, or whether he remains on the books as a player, / coach. And then there's talks, about Partey being offered a contract extension. Would you be happy with that, or would you like to get? I mean, for me, if Jorginho kind of goes off into the sunset and says I'm going to be a coach, and not I can't do that anymore, because he's hardly really played this season, hasn't he? He played today, but he's hardly played. I think this is the longest run of games that Thomas Partey has played for Arsenal
Yeah,
at the start of the season.
exactly.
He's played every game. So, but if he kind of went into the Jorginho role and then as that sort of midfielder, and then there was a space for another one, a more younger, maybe more mobile one, would you be happy with that, him staying, or would you?
I think. Well, I'll let the Jorginho first. So Jorginho, I think it's right that he retires at the end of the season. I think that's right that he comes in as a coach. I think for us, he knows that if he goes back to whatever, that if he plays, he's only playing for the money, and he probably doesn't need it. So I think obviously Arteta's very much about retention, right? Retention of his people who've been great servants. And whilst Jorginho has been kind of average for us, let's be quite brutal about it. He is a guy who's quite good in the dressing room. That's my thought. He's really good at looking after people, nurturing people, kind of feel whatever. And he's just an old head. So he's been around the block so many times. I think good. I think he's good. It'll be good to add and as the backroom staff. I don't think it really makes a massive difference to the dynamic, because apparently Arteta wouldn't sign a new contract unless all of his people got a new contract. And we know, and that's good, because a lot of those guys, we know that the Dutch guy and all the rest of them, they've all been trying to be poached in the summer. People trying to get them to be coaches, head coaches of different clubs. So we got lucky to retain them all. As far as Thomas Partey's back at his best. So who are we to say? I don't know how. It's like a miracle. It's like second coming for this guy. He's been so up and down and inconsistent.
He did the job today, right back. So fair play to him.
So give him his props and give him his flowers. I think it'd be right to give him another year, or even a couple of years. I think he's probably in that kind of space that Jorginho's come to the kind of twilight of his career. He's made it clear, even though he's been offered the big money, he doesn't want to go Saudi. So if he doesn't want to do that, he might as well stay, do a couple more years, but as a sub, obviously, in the years to come. I think this year is probably his last full year with us, like playing. I think, like you said, the youngsters are going to have to come through now. I think, hopefully, we're going to talk about that near the end, about trophies. I hope if we win a few trophies, people like Jorginho and Thomas Partey then need to take a step back, because then the pressure's off us. Then for the youngsters to come through, so that they can really be, and they can have a bit part play. Because obviously this season is all about winning trophies. If we win the trophies, then we can start talking about the next step with some of these guys that we've got.
Yeah, true, very, very true. And I think Neil was there obviously today, so he'll probably know more than me about us, or I should say, about the reception for Aaron Ramsdale came back, and
it's lovely.
I think he got a good reception, and obviously he did some bits after the game as well. So fair play to him. I just hope he can do us a favour. The last game of the season, where we need to win by maybe goal difference or something like that, because the last game of the season,
we're away to them.
We're away to Southampton. So let's hope he.
Obviously, of course, we would love that to happen. I think apparently, my guy was there. He said that they all give him, the clap and the plaudits, and clap. And he was a bit teary as well, because obviously, and we've talked about this, that he's a great guy, but it's just the circumstances of what happened that. Here we go. It's an incredible reception. And I would have, if I was there, I would have done the same. I think he's a great servant. He's done everything right. It's just that Arteta chose someone else. So it's just one of those things. What can you do?
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in the Arsenal. I'm a bit disappointed. I'm a bit disappointed in Neil, to be honest, because he was there, and I'm all for giving him, an ovation and everything like that. But I reckon as soon as he touched the ball, they should have just booed every single touch. But he's in a position now, and that's banter, isn't it? That's proper banter. And he loves all that. He's gone on record to say he loves all the banter with the fans. So I reckon that's a good point. And that would have, maybe he would have chucked in a goal in the first half if he did that. But I didn't hear any booing when he touched the ball. So, but I
think it's too early for that.
Oh no, it's all bad. I remember they did it to Vieira when we played Juventus in the Champions League in the last what was it, the quarterfinals, and I was singing Vieira's song. And as soon as he touched the ball, it was boo like that. So
it was rubbish for us, though. And apart from scoring the goal for the Charity Shield, Really.
No, not that Vieira. You're talking about the other Vieira. I'm talking about Patrick Vieira.
Oh, Patrick. Patrick.
Yeah.
Sorry. Patrick.
We played him in the Champions League and we beat them 2-0.
The Champions League. Yeah, Juventus. Juventus.
Fabregas coming of age performance where he just bossed him that night.
Yeah, but again,
before the game, he was singing Vieira's song. And as soon as it kicked off, as soon as he touched the ball, they just started booing it. And they should have done it today. Should have done it today.
Yeah.
Disappointed, Neil.
Good point.
Disappointed.
Good point. No, that's a good point. I mean, he loved the banter, and obviously all of the players. Well, I mean, I was thinking about Martinez gets probably the worst, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, part of the game.
Yeah. So before we go, I just want to ask your thoughts on. You probably saw after the game at midweek against PSG, there was a pitch invader, an Irish pitch invader, quite famous pitch invader, Conor McGregor, messing around with the Star Boy. And what's your thoughts on that? Because for me, every time I think about it, I'm thinking I'm fuming because obviously the guy's off his head. Wherever he was in whatever hospitality box, they need to make sure that's thoroughly cleaned for certain substances that could be around the place.
Definitely.
But if you saw, every time I see that, I just wince because he's on that pitch. He's got no studs on. Obviously, he's got trainers on. I think Saka's got trainers on as well. If that guy slips and falls into Saka, that's it. He's done. What's your thoughts on that? Because if I'm Arteta, I'm fuming. I'm like, listen, don't put yourself in that situation, ever again.
You know what? I think it's from the hierarchy.
Who suggested it? Whoever suggested it, they need to be reprimanded. Whoever part of the staff, go on there and take a picture. Mess around. I'll be, who I want to know. What Arteta's like. That Amazon doc. I'll have a warning. Who thought that was a good idea? You're gone.
I think the decision was there was obviously miscommunication, but they should have known. To be honest, they should have done their homework because I watched various things with McGregor in recent times, and he'll grab people just like McGregor's talking to him. Stay away from Saka. Obviously, Saka's star boy. If you can get, I mean, look, we watched the video of him shadow boxing with Saka and kicking him in the leg softly, and then even having a kickabout with him and Declan Rice. He didn't even know Declan Rice was Irish. How can you not know that Declan Rice is Irish? And obviously with Saka. I mean, the guy is obviously not the same as he was many years ago. And we know that. And he was even at the box and the rest of it. But I think the main reason why there's miscommunication, because they weren't clear to him, I think, that listen, you can shake hands, have a kickabout, but you can't touch the players. So that they didn't have that kind of conversation. Maybe they were scared of him. I don't know. But I think that conversation needs to be had because, as you said, Arteta would have been fuming. Anyone else who's like in that kind of media machine would have been fuming. The reason he was there ultimately, as we've talked about before, is eyeballs on, right? Because he is showbiz, it's PR. If you show that Conor McGregor is an Arsenal supporter, then of course that brings eyeballs on from Ireland and whoever else is his fans, as people who are like don't even know that much about football to support obviously Arsenal. So it's all about the kind of media machine, get more eyeballs on. Oh, let's buy a shirt because McGregor's there, blah blah blah. I'm surprised they didn't have him wearing one. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it was a farce. Of course, it was a farce. It was embarrassing, and it should never have happened the way it did. I think it would have been more innocent if he just had a little kickabout and all the rest of it. But the whole kind of shadow boxing Saka, who's
really do it on the pitch. You can do it. In the hospitality, whatever.
Yeah,
you can
shake hands, give him a shirt.
But the fact that he's on the pitch, it's all PR, isn't it? But no, a good win, a very good win. 3 points. City are they're about, aren't they? Doing what they're doing, and
they're all tired because they got obviously first goal winning from Fulham, just like we had the first goal going against us. And they had to do more than us. They had to dig out a 3-2 win. The thing is, we still have the best defense, and we're still in there. and we've still got a good chance of winning the whole thing. And we can talk about that quickly if you want. But I think we and City are still in the prime position to fight it out. I know Liverpool's there, but we're going to play them. Let's see what they're made of. Okay, and it's a good test for us. I want to play now. The size of our squad, and if Marno Odegaard's back, I want to play Chelsea. I want to play Liverpool. We've already dealt with Villa away, so we don't have to worry about them. And obviously, we'll deal with them when they come to ours. But I think we really, really need to stamp our authority on Liverpool at home and away. I think City, obviously, we've had our toughest game, of which we've always got battered at away. We've done that, so they're obviously going to come to our home. We're in a good position, and I think we've got to go for it. We've got to go for it. But I think there's many games to go. There's so many games to go. In fact, that it's too hard to say. And I, as you've talked about, the international break. That's my biggest worry. Okay, that someone like Saka gets injured, or Rice gets injured, or Leo gets injured. The people that are crucial to our title charge.
Yeah, I think the key one now is Havertz. We've got to make sure that he's all right.
Of course, yes.
You've got to make sure that he's absolutely fine. But he's a machine anyway, it seems. So hopefully,
I love these guys. James, you're on fire tonight. Well done.
James and Neil, man. Yeah, they're firing tonight. Yeah, he would have been. There would have been. I've always said, after that 2001 FA Cup final when Henchos done all those handballs against us. I'm telling you, there should be wanted posters all over Holloway Road, all the way down Holloway Road. There'd be wanted posters for McGregor if he'd done something to Saka, mate. It'd be like manhunt, absolute manhunt. And we were saying about Ramsdale. He went straight to Raya and hugged him at the end. So you saw they came out in the tunnel. Before they came out, everyone went over and gave him a hug as well. So obviously he's a good character. So that's the end of the show. Matt, thanks again for coming on. I know it's your first time. I hopefully have you on again very, very soon. Yes. I know it's obviously.
Before we go, can we talk about predictions? Because obviously I don't know when I'm going to come on.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So can I just say about what I think before you shut shop up? So I think. Just so that by the time I come on, it probably will have a bit more of a thing about it. I think two things. I think, first of all, I predict that we should win or be in the final of the League Cup final. That's my personal thoughts. And I think, obviously, we've got to go for the league. I don't personally think where we're at the moment and with this new extended Champions League thing that we'll win it. I think we'll have a chance, but I don't think we'll win it. I think League Cup, I think we definitely should win it. I mean, who are we playing next? Preston?
Preston.
It's Preston away, isn't it?
Preston, Preston, they drew 0-0 with Burnley today away, so that was a good result for them, to be fair. They've been struggling. So that was a good result. But we should, again, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be a sellout, and he's going to probably mix it up with put Ethan in and stuff. But it's going to be a scalp for them, isn't it? So they're going to be up for it. But we should have too much. Too much.
I think we're going to play like a strong team. I don't think that the kids should play in goal. I think Ray has to play in goal.
I think
we have to play. We have to play both Saliba and Gabriel in that game. They can mix up the rest, but those two have to play in front, and so on and so forth. I think we need to. I personally think it'll be just nice to win the League Cup because we haven't won it for so long, and then it's done. Yeah. And we've just got that kind of monkey off our back of not winning for whatever amount of years now. And then I think we've got to go for the Premier League. I think if we get those two, that's an incredible year, and we'll be both celebrating. The bus goes past. But I think, honestly, my personal thoughts is we've got a great chance of the League Cup because, obviously, as we know, lots of other people are playing each other. We've got an easier one. And I think the league. But I think Champions League, it's going to be tricky. I think it'll be nice to finish in the top 8. We don't know if we're going to do it. And the FA Cup is obviously end of the season, so we don't have to think about that.
Yeah, Champions League is getting in the top 8, isn't it, in that league? And then if you don't, then you still can kind of get through. You just have to play 2 extra games. You kind of think that we should be. We're in the mix of that to get through, and then obviously it depends on who you're going to play. But yeah, I think you're right. The League Cup. There's going to be like four or five big teams going out, or Premiership teams going out of that round. Either City or Tottenham. I think Liverpool got Brighton. Yeah. Man United got someone, but obviously Man United are at home. They always get drawn at home, it seems, in the cup competitions. But once you get your quarterfinals, and then you're one game away from having two leg semi-final, and then the Wembley. So you're right. We've got a good chance of that. I think, if we win the league, I think we said it's going to be like carnival settings if we win the league in London. I mean, it's going to be locked down. We're so huge. The fan base is so huge. If we win the league that day that they do the parade, London is going to be locked down, mate. It's going to be insane. People ain't ready for that. They don't know about that. So, that's going to happen, and I'll be there. We'll be doing a live. Everyone will be there. James and everyone will be there. Aldrin will be there, hopefully, and stuff. Yeah, we'll be there, man. We'll be on a
the whole world will be there. All these American supporters. Everyone will be there. We'll
disappear and probably go to Vegas and all that stuff, and then what happened in Vegas and all that stuff, So it'll be a mad one. We just go missing. Well, where's Neil? I thought you were doing. Where's James? But yeah, man, yeah. So I agree with you. It'd be nice just to. I think we said it a couple of pods ago. This team, we just want to have a moment where they win something together and they can have that feeling. Odegaard lifting a trophy. One of the domestic trophies at least. Because obviously we know what happened in 2020 with that. But this team, this group, to win something and finally have that feeling. And then kick on from there. So fingers crossed. You're right with that. So Neil, obviously, if he was here, he would have said after winning the quadruple. James has said, "Great show, thanks, James." As well.
Thanks for your contributions, James.
Yeah, James said I've already entered the ballot for my pro ticket. Yeah, there you go. See, he's there. He's got the campaign stuff.
We'll see you there. Hopefully, we'll see you there, James.
He's got everything there, and Neil's going to be there as well. Eldrin, laughing at all that. Yeah, great stuff. No, I appreciate all the chat and everything. And it's been a good one. It's always good to have a chat after a win, and hopefully. And Eldrin says, "Yeah, you can try. Yeah. Start saving, man. Get over it." And
exactly. Have faith. Have faith.
Yeah.
Have faith. If we can win today, we can win anything. Today was like a John Wick movie or like a Top Gun movie or something, wasn't it? It was like Rumble in the Jungle. We were on the ropes, but we came out strong and victorious. Yes. That's the way it should always be. Keep the faith, Adrian. Come on.
Yeah, finish strong. Yeah. Let's keep it going. So international break. Let's fingers crossed everybody comes back in good shape, and then we can kick on with Bournemouth. And then we've got the Champions League matters to deal with as well. And Neil said, "Yeah, really enjoyed it." Yeah, thanks, Neil. Thanks very much. You don't need to watch Match of the Day now. You've watched it, so you need to listen to those Muppets saying Arsenal are lucky to win again today. That's probably what they're going to say. So I've saved you watching it. With a bit of pundits. But yeah, thanks, Mac. Really appreciate it. Love to the family. Thanks for everyone watching on the live stream. Thanks for that. I'm going to start doing some more of these because I just think it's a lot easier for myself, and everyone else taking part in it. But yeah, we'll be back. Obviously, there's international break now, so we might have a show just to recap how things are going so far and our thoughts and everything in the next week or two. But I might just put my feet up and get ready for things to come around again against Bournemouth. So thanks, Mac. Have a lovely rest of the weekend. Thanks everyone watching. Obviously, like, share, subscribe if you like good, honest content from just genuine Arsenal supporters who've got no aspirations to just chat nonsense, just chat how they feel and be honest about things. So thanks very much. We'll be back soon, and all I have to say is come on, you Gunners.